Welcome to Your Life Story, a space to explore the journey from survival to authenticity. I'm Sajine, and here we dive into the raw truths of breaking free from the expectations we've grown up with, rediscovering our voices, and thriving after life's challenges. But this isn't just about my story, it's about life. From relationships and self-discovery to the messy, beautiful questions we all face. No topic is off limits here. So if you're ready to embrace courage, healing, and life on your own terms, you're in the right place. Let's connect. Let's grow. Welcome to the journey. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. The podcast is for inspirational and informational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared here is based on the personal experiences and insights. If you're facing significant challenges, please seek the support of a qualified professional. Remember, your journey is unique, and you deserve the care and guidance that is right for you. I want to thank you all for coming back. It is something of a interesting subject right now. It affects me sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. But I believe we've all been there. What is it? When the people who should have protected you didn't. And how I chose myself anyway. You know, this episode is for anyone who felt alone in their pain. Not just because of what was done to you, but because of who didn't believe you. You know, the moment I realized I was a challenge, the moment your ex said you were a challenge, that was brutal. I couldn't even believe the things that he said to me, you know, but now I understand why, is because he wanted me to be dumb and not know what was happening to me. You know, what you thought it meant then versus what you understand now, and how narcissists see strong, empathetic people as threats to conquer, not partners to love. I think that was painful to know that the person that I thought that loved me and said they did, actually didn't. And to now know that they were just seeking me out because I was strong and empathetic. But then knowing that I didn't know that I had those great qualities to believe that I deserved better, that was the most painful part. Because I believe if I would have believed it, I don't think I would have ever accepted him in my life. Or other people who have these tendencies or who are diagnosed. You know, it's horrible to think that you have to live in a life where people just love to manipulate and use you. Looking for comfort and getting confusion. The hardest part is telling my family about the abuse and hearing, you're not that special. Why would they even do this to you? I remember when this individual told me this, it hurt so bad because, yeah, I didn't have tons of money. I get it. You might think I'm not special. But the special part was my soul and what they were destroying and taking away from me. That was my speciality, and that hurt. So that moment broke me, something deeper than the abuse itself, the loss of emotional safety. You know, this world has taught me something, that somebody can be really toxic or abusive towards you, and a lot of people don't care. Why? because it's not happening to them, for one. And number two, I think people just choose not to believe it, because I think if they had to, they would have to face the reality of the kind of evil that exists. And others just plain just don't care. Why? Because I don't know. And it's painful. That's why I believe this healing journey is very lonely, but worth it, because once you start learning who you are and always have been, you don't take it from anybody anymore. And you just want to live and thrive. And the hunger that you have for thriving is so strong. And I'm here to tell you, we're in a community where you're safe here. And I'm saying thrive. Because nobody should ever take away that beautiful soul of yours. I don't care what anybody says. You are precious. The pain of being invalidated by someone who should have protected you is painful. I had so many people who said they were on my side, who loved me. At least they said it. And others, like I said, they were probably not there emotionally. But when I was invalidated, it hurt. Even the people who say they're out there being paid to protect you, when they invalidate you, where do you go? They always say that you should never take matters into your own hands, that you should allow people who are being paid to do it. But then when you ask for it, you don't get it. So I'm sorry, but I have every right to live just like everybody else. You have every right to live. So why should we be sitting ducks? I had people who defended this man who was hurting me. They would say that they miss him. That, oh, maybe that person's just bipolar because, I think I'm that way. So why not? Maybe they're just the same. So we should have compassion for this individual. That eerie moment when I heard it, don't tell me that your ex did this. And you're thinking, what? What do you mean they did this? And then they backtrack and say, oh, no, don't worry about it. Never mind. Now you're even thinking, okay, so what else can this individual have done? And then you tell yourself, I really don't want to know. Why? I found out so many things that were horrendous. And that person's no longer in my life, and I'm on my journey to healing. I was like, I don't want to hear it anymore. That is their problem, and they will have to deal with it. The thing is, we end up trying to explore how people with unhealed trauma or narcissistic traits will rewrite reality to protect their comfort and not your truth. I believe it's important for us to keep going. I know people will get upset because they're like, oh, this subject has been used and abused so many times. I don't want to hear it anymore. But you can't fix things that you don't understand. And I believe it's like history. If you don't understand it, how are you not supposed to repeat it? There's the grief of having family members who will never give you validation for what you went through. So you have to realize you may never get that validation or understanding from them. You can choose to believe it yourself anyway, because you went through it. And then there's the grief of outgrowing the need for anybody's protection. You got to be the one protecting yourself. It's just downright. That's what it has to be. You have to protect yourself. If you have to learn the law, if you have to learn self-defense classes, if you have to learn emotional intelligence, whatever you have to do to get through this so you can have a wonderful life, it's time to choose you. It's just as simple as that. Because the thing is, like I said, no one's coming to help you. No one. I had to do the work myself. I had to cry. I had to believe in myself. I give myself my own validation. I have gone through so many YouTube videos, Instagram pages, anything to get through this pain. I've gone through books, anything audio that will help me to get through this. Exercising, learning to eat well, getting closer to my God, and knowing that this is the best in my life. I'm trying to take control of it, but I want you to take control of it. Why? Because if I can do it, you can do it. I know that this is something special for you. You can, the thing is, you might be out there all alone thinking, I can't do this. I'm here to tell you you can. It is the toughest thing to get out of, because not only are you getting out of the pain, but you're getting out of the feeling of what normal people go through when they lose a loved one. The hardest thing for me was mourning somebody who's still alive. You're mourning the person that used to be there and that is no longer coming back because, like they said, the person you saw at the end is the person who they really are. And when you see that, you can't unsee it. The hard thing, though, is when you have to live your life and people choose not to believe it. So they look at you like you're some weirdo or some poor lost soul. I've had individuals who will actually ignore me in the community. I've had people running away from me like I have some type of disease. I've had people outright just stalk me, which is even scarier because now I'm like, oh, are these the spies that are giving the information back to the person who hurt me? And in no way does anybody ever come and say, do you need just to talk? Just go out there, have fun. I don't even have to talk about what I went through, but at least something where your mind can feel like you're a normal individual. You don't see it. So I want you to choose yourself. Why? Because it is the bravest thing you can do. You need to reclaim your narrative, speaking your story as healing for yourself and others who feel invisible. I mean, just talking has helped me tremendously in my journey. Writing down things, amazing. Being in communities that have gone through the same thing validates you. Why? Because it's important. You're important. I don't want you ever to think that what you went through was because you were a nobody. No, you're somebody. Somebody saw that beautiful light in you. Like I was told when I was in church, I was leading the song service. I loved it. And this individual said, oh, I loved you because you were a challenge. I was so innocent-minded. I thought that just meant, oh, that I was, multifaceted, as far as my knowledge. Because, when you're that way, like me, very, analytical, and I love learning, I thought this individual was the same because they imitated it very well. And later I come to find out that that wasn't a compliment. The challenge was that they wanted to bring me down because they weren't at my level. So they figured, let's bring her down. I don't believe people are better than anybody else. I've always been taught that individuals, we all have different roles in this life, but we're all the same. Why? Because we come from the same God. And if we're made in the same image of our God, then nobody's better. Some people like more challenges than others. So when I felt that, I was like, oh, this person gets me. They would even, I'm serious, they did their work really well because they studied everything that I liked and then regurgitated it. I guess that should have been my first warning, because I'm like somebody who just seemed to be too good to be true. That's the thing. When you see something like that, you just need to walk away, because I'm not saying that great people don't exist, because I believe they do. Because if not, I don't think that's why we would have all these different channels and advocates, because we're all out here. We've all been hurt. And I believe we should all start, getting together, because guess what? We are the great people, the people who want the best for others. We're the healers. I think that's the thing you have to see, is when you love to heal others, make sure everybody's happy and well taken care of. These individuals, they can smell you just like a shark, like blood underwater. They're out there and they're trying to get you. And, now I know that they're out there, especially if you're going to a church or anywhere that is positive. These people will navigate towards it because they're thinking, who can I bring down? I won't do that again. But I am stronger. I am smarter. I'm learning that I need to have better boundaries and not feel guilty, because that's one thing they love to do, is make you feel guilty for the boundaries you put in place, And then when things happen, people will invalidate you. I had people saying, how dare you? Why did you allow that to happen to you? And in my heart, I was like, I didn't allow it to happen to me. It happened. The thing is, I can't get away. And they think, why can't you? Because if you try, they're going to make you come back. They make you come back. Especially you have children, they make you come back. Until your little ones are adult, they make you come back. So of course you have to take the healing into your hands, because you can't go through that for more years while they're out there living it up, so to say, but they've just found somebody else to fool. And it's always someone younger. Oh, and then the other person they get is always weaker, more sickly, even physically and mentally, because they figure, hey, this person's not going to find anything better, but I'm going to make it look like I'm better, But to me, I just want to heal. I already know what these individuals do and how they do it. It was hard to have to try to understand what their brain does. And I'd rather go live my best life. Yeah, you're right. But, it'd be nice to have some type of justice. But I know if I don't get it here, I will get it when God comes back. And that is the best thing. Why? Because I believe that things will be taken care of. And I want you to know that wherever you're at, whatever your faith is, I want you to know that I believe you. I know what you went through or are going through. It's painful. It's confusing. But when you find that clarity, the information and everything starts going into place, you start seeing that it was really simple. All it was the biggest scam of your life. And all they ever wanted was your light, your money, your youth, your life, your smiles, your beautiful heart. They wanted it all because they couldn't have their own, which is actually pretty sad. But like I've always told many people, hey, you know what? That's not my issue. They came from God too. They chose to not follow the way that God wanted them to live. So I leave it to God. I say, not your child. You'll have to figure it out. But you're going to have to make sure I'm safe too, because I do not want to get hurt. And the moment that I started giving myself validation of what I was going through and speaking out to my truth and the pain, feels great. Why? Because I was told to keep quiet, to silence myself, to isolate myself. And when you do that, it just festers in you. And since I'm here to live a better, healthier life, then I speak. I speak the things that happened and the things that I do now. I love it. I went on my run. I love running. Don't get me wrong. A few months ago, I was dying on running. But now I love it. It feels so freeing. It's my time. Then I did my weightlifting. The power you feel when you get to do that. Why? Because I get rid of my stress, the anger. But guess what? I feel better. And so should you. My next thing I'm picking up is watercoloring. We'll see how that goes. That's something I haven't done since I was a child. But I was like, no, I really need to do it. And I hope you do too. So, I'm glad that you have visited me today. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Your Life Story with Jean. I hope you gave you something to think about, feel, or explore on your journey. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share it with someone who might need it or reach out to connect. I'm telling you, you can do this. You can get out. You can be educated. You can learn new hobbies, especially boundary keeping. Start investing in yourself. Find that beautiful soul before you met these individuals. And reclaim it. And be that beautiful person. I know I'm enjoying the journey. Not the sadness part, but the one where I'm rebuilding myself. Why? Because I'm worth it. I'm enough. I'm loved. So until next time, I love you all. Keep joining. We're going to make it through.